Okay, so today I want to talk about a topic that I feel is really important to people's well-being. Outrage porn, which is also known as outrage media or outrage journalism, the phrase was coined in 2009, so it's been around for a little while. It's basically any type of media that is designed to provoke outrage, which in turn generates more clicks and more web traffic. It seems to be getting worse, and not only that, it seems to be getting more prevalent in the gaming world and gaming journalism. At least I've never noticed it being this bad as it has been in the last couple of years or so. The fact is that outrage porn is not only a complete waste of your time, but it's harming the gaming industry, it's harming your well-being, it's harming your mindset. It's something I think we need to talk about. Now, I've known about this sort of thing for years. It's one of the reasons I steer clear of the mainstream media. Earlier this week I watched 2 videos on the Upper Echelon gaming channel. Now this isn't me having a pop at the channel, in fact I love his work and I'd like to urge you to take a look at those videos if you have the chance. The videos are called The Legendary Mass Effect Idiocy and The Cycle of Media Lies. Both videos circle around a similar sort of topic, but I think there's one key ingredient missing, and it's something that he hasn't talked about specifically and something I wanted to bring up. There's a common denominator here and I think it's worth spelling out. So the Legendary Mass Effect Idiocy video is centered around the ridiculous amount of media coverage on the news that BioWare has made a decision to alter some problematic camera angles. Yep, problematic camera angles. Translation: they're removing shots of Miranda's ass. Yep, that's right. Instead of focusing their efforts on sorting out bugs or making improvements to the story, they seem to have been pushed into a corner by a small percentage of people who wanted this sort of thing removed, and would probably never play the game anyway if we're being realistic. I'm not going to get into the rights and wrongs of that. I mean, that could be a video all on its own. See, as a result though, there's been a barrage of outraged journalists shouting and screaming from the rooftops, saying how disgusting it is and how all gamers are perverts. Then you get the other side shouting about censorship or demanding a right to look at ass, and the inevitable comments about graphic violence being fine, but looking at a curvy ass, that's a problem. So yeah, I know it's ridiculous. I don't even consider this news, to be honest, but some people are really angry about it. But at the root of all this, what's it about? It's about money. The people writing these articles either own a company or are writing on behalf of a company, and quite frankly I personally believe most of them don't really give a shit about the issue whatsoever. They couldn't care less about the feminist standpoint, they couldn't care less about a gamer's need to look at ass while they're playing a game. The barrage of abuse flying back and forth between the gamers and the feminists has the journalists rubbing their hands with glee. And why? Because it pays. Let me spell it out for those of you that are unaware. Websites like this, or like this, see the advertising all over them? Those ads pay out by the view. You don't have to click on them in order for the website to receive their money. So what this means is, for every set of eyeballs they can get on their article, there's a cash bonus in it. So is it any wonder that the headlines get more and more outrageous and clickbaity? The fact is, sex sells. Rightly or wrongly, it's true. So if you combine something with a sexual undertone to it and then add to that the chance to piss people off on one side of the fence or the other, it's a massive cash grab. What's worse is it makes these journalists' lives really easy. They don't even have to work for it. The headlines practically write themselves. So on top of the original article they write, what they'll do is then go and scour the internet. They'll look at Twitter, they'll look at Reddit. They'll find the one idiot in a million who really goes off on one about this topic and is totally out there. And they'll quote him in another article. And what that does is provoke further outrage, more anger. They'll misquote, they'll take out of context, they'll outright lie in order to secure a headline. And then ultimately they cash in on the anger. They cash in on yet another article with advertising all over it. This is called a feedback loop. You write an article designed to provoke, and then you feed the outrage from one community back to the other community with another article. And it goes on and on and on. So you may be wondering how I know about this kind of stuff. Well, I've been working in marketing for around 20 years. So in essence, I've done everything from press advertising to online marketing, pay-per-click, SEO. You get the idea. I've worked for both clients directly and for marketing agencies as a third party. Thankfully, I've never really been a journalist. My writing and grammar pretty much sucks. When I spout off about journalists like this, I do feel a pang of empathy for them. I mean, chances are they've got an unreasonable boss. The boss secures a client, promises them the world, and then the second the contract is signed, they hand them off to you. And then what? You've got to somehow deliver. You combine that with Google taking a stranglehold on the online world. Did you know that they take up to 40% of all clicks? They stop people from going through to the actual websites who have written the answers to questions by showcasing them on the search results page. So 40% of people never even bother to click through to the websites. Is it any wonder there's so much pressure to keep the money rolling in? All that aside though, there is no excuse for baiting people, publishing slanted or outright wrong information in order to cash in. Upper Echelon's other video is even darker. He shows concrete proof of how a smear campaign was started on Jordan Peterson and how it escalated completely out of control by one article provoking another, and all jumping on the bandwagon, trying to trump each other for the most sensational headline, ignoring the actual facts and spouting utter bullshit to secure their viewership. It went from being slanted and manipulative to completely factually incorrect with no accountability whatsoever. It makes me sad for Mr. Peterson and his family, but also for all the readers. Many of them probably have no idea that they're reading shit and that the feeders are getting paid for it time and time again. Sad's the wrong word. It sickens me. What makes it worse is outrage porn is creeping more and more into the gaming world, the gaming industry. An industry founded on, making money, but also giving gamers an escape from the real world bullshit we have to deal with every day. Let's take a look at The Last of Us 2. To my mind, this is a prime example of outrage porn. The story was controversial to say the least. Again, I'm not going to go into my view on the rights and wrongs of that, but the reality is some gamers invested and in love with the original story felt betrayed by the way it turned out. And then you get the hardcore diversity groups making demands about their rights to be represented in gaming. And there you have it, a journalist's wet dream. Countless angry people to tap into, righteous anger on both sides. The articles practically write themselves. You feed each party's outrage back to the other, quote a few of the most vocal or extreme voices from each group, and while they're fighting it out, you simply walk away with your fat pot of cash and leave them to fight. Forgive me, I've ranted on for quite a while about this now. Let me tell you why this is bad for you. It's bad for you because outrage is addictive. It's an addiction. You know what? It feels good though. It does. It feels really good to be on the right side of the fence and to be, really angry about somebody else's stupid point of view and how you're going to tell them, and you fixate about, what you're going to say and how your argument's going to destroy their argument, and you're going to make them look silly and you're going to change their mind. It does feel good, but it's an addictive feeling because of the stimulation it gives you, but it's rooted in anger. Now, anger is well known to have adverse effects on the body. The constant flood of stress chemicals being fed into your bloodstream is actually poison. Unchecked anger has been linked to headaches, to stress, anxiety, depression. It's been linked to skin problems and even heart attacks. Let's think about that for a moment. We're letting news, which, let's face it, is either biased at best or at worst is complete bullshit, have a genuine impact on our own lives. News about things that we personally can have zero effect on, no matter how angry we get or how right we are. Not only that, think about the last time that you read something that really made you angry. Did you go home and kiss your partner? Did you play with your kids? Did you have fun with your friends? Did you phone your mate up and have a good laugh afterwards? Or did you spend the evening seething? Did that underlying anger ruin those moments for you? Did that anger deep inside cause you to tell some poor homeless guy to piss off, instead of perhaps thinking, maybe he's hungry and maybe I should put my hand in my pocket? Outrage porn is a poison, guys. It's creeping into a world we love. It used to be limited to politics or sport, but not anymore. It's right on the doorstep. Personally, I don't take anything too seriously these days. I've completely disabled my notifications for news and media because I value my own well-being and my own state of mind more than I value reading whatever bullshit they've decided to send me today, whatever agenda they've got. I have a small child to look after, and my mood and my well-being has a direct impact on him. He's too young to defend himself from me being salty about some bullshit that I read online. So, I don't do that anymore. Or when I do, I make sure I'm in a frame of mind that I know it's not going to have an impact on me. I consider doing this a way of protecting him too. Anyway, I've ranted enough for one day. Thank you for watching if you're still here. I hope this helps some of you. Take care, stay safe. Bye bye now.